Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends, and it's time for Friday Night Lights, week number 9. Where does the season go? It's DFS. I'm with my guys, the great Swame, Odell Blocker, and Willie Walls. Willie Walls, glad you can make it with us this evening. Thought it was touch and go there for a second.
Me too.
By the way, Willie had a really good night last night, Swami. He almost took down a tournament.
Yeah, he was right there, Doc. All he needed was for Mr. Mechie to catch any of those passes that he was wide open on, and Willie would have taken down the tournament. But for some reason, Stroud was incredibly off last night. So
it's a crazy game. Aaron Rodgers at halftime looked horrible, and then all of a sudden, by the end of the game, he played well. So what can I tell you? But let's take a look at this week's action this weekend. Let's start it out, guys. Let's start it out with the Cleveland Browns against the Chargers. Cleveland played really well last week with Jameis Winston, but Vegas says this game is 42.5 points. Willie, can we trust famous Jameis again?
I'm going to be all famous Jameis on this game. You got to remember, they caught the Ravens when they didn't have their 2 defensive backs, too. So it was just one of those divisional games. Cleveland somehow just shows up. I mean, this San Diego, the Chargers, I just can't. I'm not going to be on Jameis. Now, one guy I am interested in, I don't think it's a bad little play, is Elijah Moore. He's very interesting to me. He gets a lot of targets, and he seems to have Jameis' eye, and everybody will be on Tillman. And I think Elijah Moore is kind of interesting this week.
Swami, Justin Herbert is like 5,300. Ladidi Lad McConkey played very well last week. He's not that expensive. Went up $500, but he does well against this kind of defensive coverage. Do we like any Chargers? Do we like any Browns? Or does this feel like a fade to you?
Doc, I think this game, I think I'm gonna agree with Willie. If something about this game feels a little bit different, I think this game is probably more of a fade for me. I think with the Chargers, their pass rush, if I had to take anybody, the only way that I feel like they can get something going is going to be Chubb. Like I said, I think Chubb has played well against the Chargers the last couple of times. That was a different offensive line, different team. But hey, if you were to look at a piece, the surprise, the dark horse play might be Mr. Chubb this week. But I don't know if I'm interested in this game. It feels like a scrap, but I just don't think it'll be fantasy goodness.
Yeah, I like Chubb. I do. I hear what you're saying, but if this game is low scoring, I don't want any part of it. All right, Miami and Buffalo. Miami just doesn't do well against Buffalo with Mike McDaniel. He just hasn't solved the code of the Buffalo Bills. Swami, Tyreek Hill doesn't usually have big games. Tua doesn't usually have big games. But there's a guy named Devon Chan who's been playing a lot better. And then for Buffalo, is Cook in play? Is Cooper in play? Is Shakir in play? Is Allen in play? What are you doing?
I think I'm interested in Cook, and I'm interested in the train, and I think that's about it. The only other person I might consider Smith at tight end. But other than that, Doc, I'm going to let you and Willie have the rest of this game. But I think I'm going to have one of these backs, if not 2, in every lineup.
Willie, Permar says Tyreek Hill is cheap at 7,300, but Lou says you can't trust 2 against the Bills, right? What do you think?
That would be a no thank you on that. I mean, the only 2 people I agree with. The only 2 guys I'm interested in this game are the 2 backs, and that's it for me.
Is a Chan a must start, guys? At 6,700, is he a must play?
I don't say he's must play, but he's definitely a good play for sure.
He's close.
Yeah. Now, Permar says Cook averages 21 points per game when they win with 7 points or more. Do you see a blowout here, guys?
It could get out of hand. I mean, Tua struggles against the Bills, and the Bills defense has been playing a lot better the last few weeks.
They are better.
Like he was still had a little rust on him. I'll say that last week. So,
Lou asks, do you think this is a Josh Allen running game? Yeah, I think this could be a Josh Allen game and not a Cook week. But can you imagine, you guys, let's say, I know you guys play the 20 max. How many lineups would you have Josh Allen in, Swami, out of 20?
Out of 20, none.
Willie, out of 20?
0.
I feel the same way. I'm not paying up for Allen. But Allen, if I ask you, tell me the one quarterback on the slate, well, not one, but one of the few who could get 30 points. Is Allen one of those guys?
Of course.
Yeah.
So we're willing to risk it.
Inside the red zone, but I do agree. Yeah.
All right, let's move forward. Dallas against Atlanta. This game was a 52 spot. Willie's nodding his head. He must like something in this game. What do you like?
I agree with Swami. What he was saying is if Dak can't get it going in this game without garbage time. Because he is the person. He is the premier garbage time player to get points for you. If he can't get it going against these guys, because what does Atlanta do? They do not pressure the quarterback. And if you notice that the last few games that Dak, he has faced a premier rusher. You don't have that in this game.
No.
It has no excuse. And the kind of defense that they play, it lends to Mr. Ferguson to be in play, as well as Lamb. So I do like those two together with Lamb, and I like bringing it back with B.J. Robinson. B.J. One thing that people have not noticed is in these last few games, he has been out-snapping Algier in the red zone 10-1. So when they get in the red zone, he is now getting the ball. So I think they're finally doing the right thing. So I just think that is not a bad stack, but I do like Dak. I do like Lamb, and I think Ferguson is interested. And when I'm not playing Ferguson, I think I could go to another tight end that's going to be playing against Philadelphia.
Swami, Willie's right that Dak doesn't handle the pressure well. Atlanta cannot get to the quarterback. But Dak really has stunk. He really has been bad. And moreover, Dallas seems like they want to run the football when they should be throwing the football. I want to see more Tolbert, more Ferguson, more Lamb, and I'm seeing Zeke. It's kind of making me nauseous. What do you think is going to go on here? Are we hoping for Dallas versus the reality is they just aren't very good?
I think that reality is what I've been experiencing as well. It shows up on film. As we say, film doesn't lie. But the reality also is that Atlanta's defense is one that's kind of friendly. We saw what Baker Mayfield was able to do again last week against this very friendly defense. So if Baker can do it, Dak can do it. So if you ask me, I think he's in a decent spot. This feels like if he's going to have one of those, if he's got another 4-touchdown game in him, it feels like it could be this week at Atlanta.
So Permar says avoid Tolbert, but then imaginary author says, what if they double bracket Lamb? Well, do I not play either of them, or do we just play Ferguson? Like, Willie, I hear you, I do, because we want to do a Dallas double stack, but maybe a Dallas double stack is not the play here.
But you could also go Lamb and BJ. You don't have to do that. I just think that Lamb is going to have a huge game. Honestly, I think he's going to have a huge game. And Atlanta has been friendly. They have been getting eaten up by the pass. They do not have a rush. So I'm just saying this is the one time where, listen, trust me, Dak has been terrible. But I'm just saying, this is a matchup that people, even if they're not good, have been doing well against Atlanta.
If this is Cheeks, Dak is looking up at Cheeks. That's how bad he is.
I get it. And you got to have some tolerance for that. I'm gonna have me some Dak. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have some Dak in this. It doesn't make me feel good, honestly. But sometimes you gotta, just like when we went with Jameis last week.
No, but Jameis is good. Jameis, that made sense to me. This feels like, I don't know. What if Atlanta gets out to a lead? Aren't they going to run the ball on Dallas? Eat some clock?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They could do. Of course, you can run on Dallas, but I think we might have some back and forth. And if Dallas plays smart, which is questionable, they will be putting the ball in the air.
I almost would prefer that Atlanta got up and scored first. I think that would start to get the Cowboys going. I think if they try to lean on that running game or even have the illusion that they can run the ball, then I think they'll be kicking field goals. But if they come out, they go down quick and they got to throw it, they start throwing it and get the passing game going and the whole offense opens up. I think that's a better scenario for them, Doc.
Fair enough. All right, Swami. New Orleans plays Carolina. Carolina doesn't have any Deontay Johnson. Willie's guy, Jalen Coker, is the new number 2 receiver there. You've got Chuba Hubbard, but Jonathan Brooks may or may not be playing. On the other side, Derek Carr should be back. Kamara, not 100%, but he's there. Chris Olave, Taysom Hill. Do you like pieces in this game?
Not Doc. What I'm concerned about is the blowout, right? They roughed them up pretty good week 1. If everybody remember, huge blowout. It was almost a laugher. Now, obviously, that was down in New Orleans, but the Panthers haven't improved at all. They actually probably gotten a little bit worse, if not a lot of bit worse. Losing Thielen, I think, Trimble's been in and out. Then they traded away, not that I'm mad at that trade, but then they traded away, another guy. So they lost Dalton. I just don't think it's too many people in and out of that offense. I can't trust that side of it. So if anything, I like the Saints defense. And I think, if Carr being back opens it up even a little bit for Kamara, then I think they're going to lean on him. And he's the only piece I would want.
Willie, Permar writes, your boy Coker is a fine punt play against the worst team against the slot. You going back to Coker?
Hey, listen, I'm going to hand me a little Coker. You can say what you want to say. But one thing that Swami and I have been using that has been pretty effective, as Swami would admit it, the guy that's on top of the Pro Football Focus with matchups is Coker. So I will have some Coker. Seriously. I'm going to have some Coker.
I have to offer a rebuttal to the good people out there. Because and I know here in DFS land, we say we typically don't care how you get there if you get there. You give us our fantasy points, that's all you need to do. But this guy did nothing all game. And on the last drive in a game down 3 scores, he got most of those points in garbage time against my defense. It only served to knock me down out of big money. And Doc, no. No. He did nothing when the game was competitive.
I would have liked this play more if Andy Dalton was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what, Doc? I'm gonna tell you why I like it even more, because who does the quarterback normally throw? Thielen is still out, right? He's doubtful, correct?
Yes. And
who does the second quarterback normally throw to? Is the second receiver.
The stands. He throws to the stands, Willie.
Yeah, he
stinks.
So, I'm taking under 100 yards Doc on him.
Good bet. All right, Eric asks. Hey. I think Khalil Herbert is a good spec ad. The Bears don't need him. Maybe they trade him. All right, let's keep moving forward here. Tennessee against New England. Can we say pass?
Pass.
Negative. Hold on, Ghost Rider. Hold on, Doc. Couple of things that I told Doc. I think I heard it on First Look. I know it wasn't talking about this week, but Danger was talking about paying down and then going naked. What I wanted to say was when he mentioned Rudolph, I said, his price is just decent enough. And Pollard and the matchups that Pollard and Ridley have are just decent enough to make Rudolph interesting. So before we just poo-poo the whole game, New England isn't necessarily scaring anybody these days. They're awful. They're on the road, so that means that Rudolph is home. He's trying to do something. I don't think it's going to be great, Doc, but we've been talking about this naked quarterback play, and you could even consider playing one of these two guys. If you're talking about a low-on stack, I'm just trying to interest you, Doc, in a low-on.
Here's the interest right there. Julius D's Chestnuts. There you go. If Pollard is out, and if Spears is out, then Julius may be in.
Is Pollard out?
Pollard, I don't know. He's questionable. Doesn't look good. So, I mean, here's when you're going to know. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, if they call up somebody, then you know that they're in trouble. You do. You know they're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Las Vegas against Cincinnati. This one, we talk about that Cincinnati needs to be pushed. Las Vegas doesn't feel like a team that can push them, but they do have Myers and Bowers and Trey Tucker, and Minshew likes to sling it. Chase Brown looks like he's starting because Zach Moss is doubtful. T. Higgins is doubtful, Willie. Can we get behind Chase? Can we get behind Gesicki? Can we get behind Chase Brown? Can we get behind Myers? Can we get behind Bowers? What can we get behind here?
First of all, I didn't know this is a new development for me. I did not know that Chase was. I did not know that Moss was doubtful. That's why he's showing up so much.
Doubtful.
Wow. I have a lot of interest in Chase Brown. I have a lot of interest going against the Raiders. Definitely have a lot of interest because he's explosive. Wow, I did not know that. Yeah,
he is a lock.
He's a lock button. He's a lock for me now. I didn't know that. I wonder why he was popping in the models like he is. But if Moss is out, I'm all on Chase. At that price point, Chase, please.
Now, Swami, real quick, let's assume that Neural Skyway says the following. It's going to be highest owned. I don't want to fade him. I want to play him. And even if I lose, I lose. But I think he's going to get me at least 12 points, and he could get me 25 points. What if he's 45% owned? You play him?
I'm playing him. And it's more about a matchup for me. And I don't think we rarely see somebody 45% owned on a full slate.
Yeah, he's not going to be 45%.
But
you got too many good plays.
And I think I would only it's kind of priced like him and Tracy. They got they're right there. They're in a good spot this week, especially with all the great matchups that those other backs got. You would be separating yourself if you just made one or two plays that I don't think you got to get crazy, Doc. 45, even if it was 45.
What about real quick, Jamar Chase, in or out, guys?
Out.
Mike Gesicki, in or out with T. Higgins out?
Out for me.
Out.
He's in for me. For sure. He's in for me. All right. Denver and Baltimore. Now, Swami, Denver has looked really good recently. They're playing your Ravens on the road, but Willie's shaking his head, and I agree with Willie. Denver's getting so much play here, but maybe this is one of those games where you're finally taking on the purple on the road. This may be, Cinderella slipper for Bo Nix. It could get ugly. Agree or disagree?
I fully agree. Welcome to primetime, Bo Nix. We got something for you. Bring your little candy behind this way. This is not a divisional game. You won't hear me talking about, as they say, I'm your Huckleberry. You say when. Doc Holliday, Doc. Say when. We got something for you, Bo Nix. Come on down. Because Doc, again, that division plays that way all the time. But when they go outside of the division, look out. They're in trouble.
Willie, I think they're in big trouble. I think you can go Lamar and Henry, and that'll be it for me.
Yeah, I don't think I'm playing anybody from the game, but I think it's going to be a smackdown. I mean, listen, first of all, the Ravens are not going to be the happiest team in the world, and they're getting the cornerbacks back. Oh, it's going to be night. It's going to be night early there. I don't want to see nobody from Denver. Now, you can only play somebody from the Ravens, and I just think there's going to be a smackdown. I don't think nobody full value. So I'm going to pass on this game, but I do say this. The Ravens going to kick their ass. It's going to get.
Can we go to what Permar said, Willie? He said Henry's going to get 22.9 points per game and nobody will be on him. That's true. People will go Saquon. People will go Kyron. People will go Bijan. People will go Kenneth Walker. Nobody will play Henry. You will get King Henry at 2 to 3% owned, Swami, in or out.
I'm out. And the reason is at 8,000, when you talk about the train and you talking about Cook and you talking about guys who are going to get 6 or 7 balls out the backfield, those are going to Justice Hill. he's not going to see him. So even I like the carries, and so that means they got a chance to go give me 35. Where I'm hoping they got King Henry in the game.
Willie, you go to Henry on FanDuel.
I'm going to be out on Henry.
Even on FanDuel.
Even on FanDuel, he's got to beat me because I got too much value. I got too much value where I could get Mr. Brown and some other people with the value we got at running back. You got some people.
All right, Washington, your Commanders, Willie, go and play the New York Football Giants. It's a 44.5 spot. So let's start with you here, Willie. The Giants defense isn't terrible. They don't let up a lot of big anything. I mean, they'll lose. Don't get me wrong. Washington's the better team, but it's not like the Giants are bad in the red zone. They don't let up a lot of rushing touchdowns. They don't let up a lot of anything. Do you play Daniels? Do you play Brian Robinson? Do you play McLaurin? I really like Malik Neighbors, but Washington's secondary has been better recently. What are you doing?
Two people I'm playing in this game. Give me some McLaurin. Give me some of that and give me some Tracy. I'm going to have Tracy in most of all my lineups going against that Commanders defense. You saw when we told you that we liked Swift last week, and you saw what happened last week with Mr. Swift.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have a question. I love Tracy. He's a great player. But are you worried about that concussion that Singletary doesn't get a few more touches than normal, that maybe it is a true 50-50 split and not 70-30?
I don't think they will be bringing him back if he wasn't fully cleared. And that's what I got to go on. I can't be scared with that. Listen, you saw what he did against Pittsburgh. Listen, Swame and I, we have been all on Tracy from Jump Street. This dude can ball. He gets 80-something% of the game, and you're going against the Commanders. This is where you hit him, is where they run the ball and they throw the ball to. This guy is good. I like this Tracy guy. I hope everybody thinks like you're thinking about the concussion. I'm playing Mr. Tracy. If I lose, hey, listen, I'm gonna be all in on Tracy.
Swami, I'm not saying Tracy's not going to play. I'm saying in a perfect world, Tracy's getting 60%. This week, maybe he's getting 45.
I don't see it, Doc, only because they've been calling this kind of, I think, leaning on the side of caution is what I'm going to say. I'm talking about the protocol. And so when guys have come back, I'm going to have to assume that he's ready to go. And because he gives that offense like a different look and a different feel, Singletary just didn't provide it when he was in there. So I think they're going to go back to him. I don't know why Walls didn't mention Neighbor, but I think he's definitely got in a great spot here as well. So, if you're uncertain about Tracy, then you can go with Neighbor. But I think at that price, Doc, you pass up a lot. Him and Brown right now are just in smash spots with those prices.
I'm torn. I am, because I love Tracy. I loved him when he came out of Purdue. I think and JS says the following, which is what Willie said. I don't see why they wouldn't run him full go if he's cleared. That said, if he gets hit again, I don't know. It just feels, something feels wrong to me.
Let me knock on wood, because then we can say the same thing about Neighbor, who, he missed several games. So I don't
he missed 3 games.
Yeah, let me knock on wood, Doc.
But don't you feel like when he came back that he was ready to come? How many guys do you know that get a concussion on a Monday and come back on a Sunday?
Well, it shows the severity of that concussion.
And I thought Devontae Adams took a bad knock, but he came back to score a touchdown in that game. So sometimes it's hard to tell which hits are really, where a guy just took a hit and where he really took a concussion.
All right, we don't want to take any hits here. All right, let's get to Jacksonville and Philadelphia. This game's a 45.5 spot. There's a lot that's here. Hard to run on Jacksonville, and so a lot of people are going to gravitate to Saquon, but it's a lot easier to throw, but Hurts doesn't throw a lot. But maybe he'll have to, Willie. Will he throw to A.J. Brown, who feels like a really good play? Is Engram a lock button? Is Devonta Smith a lock button? Is Hurts a lock button? What do you lock it in?
I think Hurts is a great play. What does Jacksonville do? They play a lot of man to man. And who gets over 41% usage on the man to man? Hello, Mr. Brown. Hello, Mr. Brown. Hello, Mr. Brown. So I think they make a great combo together. And you could throw that tight end for Mr. Ingram back in that game, against Philadelphia. And I think you got a pretty decent stack right there. I don't mind that stack at all.
Do you do a small stack or do you put Hurts in? Or I'm worried if they're winning 34-10, Hurts isn't putting up the game you need.
Well, if they win at 34-10, it might be because of Hurts, what he did. So we got to look at it that way. And one thing you say is, I know AJ's getting at least one deep ball for a touchdown.
Right.
So if he gets two, you know what I mean, and gets over 100-something yards, and then you get Hurts might do that little push, the tush push. He's good. Listen, Philadelphia has looked sharp the past 3 games. If people are not seeing the way they're playing, I think they're playing some really good ball. So I like them both.
Swami, I like AJ Brown. I like Ingram. I think we all do. Are you in on Hurts? Do you put in a bigger stack with Saquon? Do you put in a bigger stack with Devonta? Or do you just play it skinny?
I'm kind of concerned about the Jacksonville side. I would say a lot concerned about that side. Now it seems like both backs a little bit banged up, questionable. Philly kind of plays the tight end a little tough. If I had to pick someone, maybe Gabe Davis might become a man of interest. I don't want to go Swami says too early. It is not. I'm just trying to figure out something coming back on the other side. If not,
Swami says you're smoking something.
Yeah, because I know you said they couldn't run against them, but I think the last couple of folks who had that matchup, they did okay. So Doc, I mean, Jacobs, he did okay. Swift did okay. Sermon did okay. So the only person they was able to even slow down was the Patriots. And
I'm just saying it's okay, but Barkley to pay $8,000, it better be more than okay.
Yeah, but I don't like that price of course. But I think as far as running the ball in a game, he'll be able to run. I think AJ Brown is probably the play I like the best again this week. But because of that tush push, and I don't want to call it a tush, I want to use the other word because I don't like it at all. He is the ultimate vulture. So
a cheeks push, if you will.
It's cheeks push. No play, no giving it to your back. I know it's a great play, but it doesn't feel good, sir.
All right, Eric, I'll tell you, Parker Washington is fine. He's an okay 4th receiver than needing him as a 3rd. I'm with Swami. I think Gabe Davis has some upside. I don't know if it's this week, but he does have some upside. All right, let's get to Chicago and Arizona. 44.5. I kind of don't like this game. I think people want to like this game more than they should. Caleb Williams is not good. Let me tell you something. Caleb Williams stinks. Watch that game last week. He stinks. And he was going to get all the credit for winning. Who? Jaden Daniels is 20 million times better, Willie. Who are you playing?
The only one that I would think about playing in this game will be the running backs. That's it.
Connor and Swift?
Yeah, that's it. I might just have one just as a GPP throw because listen, Mr. Swift has been balling out. He's been doing this thing. I wish they would stop that goal line crap, bringing that Johnson in there. That's what this pisses me off on that part right there. But in Connor, listen, it doesn't matter what the matchup is. He still produces. I mean, he's not efficient, but he gets 95% of the touches. You know what I mean? He gets every touch. So that's the only 2 people I can play in this game. Only 2 people.
Swami, Arizona has done a really good job this year, to their credit. They have played better than people have thought. Connor has been great. Their defense has been better than people have thought.
Yeah.
Is this a fade for you, or is there a piece here or a piece there that you'll play?
Doc, again, I don't think Willie was wrong here. I will say this though, Willie. I think McBride and Komet might be a little bit of interest.
Okay. McBride has been coming up.
I think they're
he's been coming up. I can
this
agree.
Feels like a scrap where the tight ends could really be involved. And there's enough happening on the outside where the tight ends could probably work the middle of the field, especially you get enough from both backs. So they could be interesting. I would probably lean towards the backs, Doc, but this feel like a scrap, low scoring. You know, every time we look, they stall it in the red zone if they get there and the kickers are coming out. So, no.
All right, we'll have 3 more because I want to cover the Sunday night one for FanDuel. Detroit and Green Bay. Interesting game. It is. It's interesting. Jordan Love, I think, will be back. Detroit not putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback anymore. The defense in the secondary is slightly soft, as we know. On the other side, Detroit going to run that football. They're going to Montgomery and Gibbs. You got St. Brown. Willie, is this a game you're focused in on?
If Love plays, if Love does not play, I'm out. Okay, I'm out. If Love plays, I have interest. You know, you could go to one of the backs. I mean, I will focus on Montgomery. You know, I understand. You know, understand. Listen, they both backs have been excellent, and you can run on the Packers. But if they play with this other quarterback, I'm out on everything I say. I take back. I'm just out. So I just think I think they're interesting, but I think Jericho, I think Goff is he's a little hurt too, isn't he?
He is. He was out this. He was. But he's going to play. Look, you know they're going to lean on the running game. So the question is Laporta and St. Brown and Khalif Raymond. But, you know, look, Jared Goff on the road. We know what Jared Goff does on the road. It's good, but it's not great like what he does at home. But Trevor had mentioned there could be some rain in this game. Love is not 100%. I mean, Swame, people have mentioned Christian Watson, Jaden Reed. It feels like you play Love naked because you don't know who to play him with.
Love and naked in the same sentence is definitely risky. But I'll say this, Doc. If he's in the game at quarterback, whether or not, we might get something that looks like playoff type football, right? Which means both teams are going to be in there. It's going to be a slugfest, but the kind of slugfest that we like, where it's got a few more points. Jordan Love has had some of his best games against the Lions. And the Lions, as you know, always respond in kind. So I would be interested in the game with Love, especially if, you know, he's hitting Watson for a big play, who I think is interested in this game, talking about Christian Watson. I think Montgomery is probably the back this week. And I'm not mad with St. Brown. I think they're going to get him going. Maybe this seemed like a game he could get going as well, because Green Bay's defense is interesting as well. They can play some ball. So it's going to be a scrap, but the kind where I think it's going to be some points. I would definitely want some back and forth, a Montgomery or Watson or just some pieces like that. I think is a good shot in this game because, you know, one of those guys could make some noise.
All right. Rams and Seahawks. Originally, I loved this game when I thought Puka Nacua was playing. He's not out. But you know, look, when Stafford has Puka and Kupp and Kyron, but Permar says the exact right thing. Seattle has no ceiling without DK. You needed DK to push this game along, and now the game doesn't get that push. So, Willie, can we be in on this game, or do we have to fade Seahawks, go with Kyron, go with Kupp, and call it a day?
I'm going with one person in this game is Kyron. Give me Kyron, you know, because at that price point with Nuka, because I mean, I don't like some of the things I'm hearing, you know, what's going on. He might be playing less than he did last week. You're not going to always be that efficient. I mean, we know he's a dog. But Kyron Williams is an absolute lock button. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just playing him. He's going to be in every lineup that I have. FanDuel and
Well, what about Cooper Kupp? If Puka Nacua is out, doesn't Cooper Kupp get 12 targets?
Yeah, he does. He does, but I kind of agree with. I do not like without Metcalf. Man, you know, you know, Swami always talk about this. You need that push from the other team, and I did not like that push that Seattle had. Geno looked like the old Geno's restaurant. I mean, he looks stinky, and I got to play that bastard in fantasy this week because of Obama. I got to play that bastard, so I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Swami, you mentioned push. Willie mentioned push. There's no game this week where I feel there's push. Maybe Dallas, Atlanta, but I don't feel a lot of push. Is there any push in Seattle Rams? Because I see none.
I think Metcalf hurt, what I thought this game could be. I still feel like, I don't know, Washington and the Giants feel like they could heat up a little bit some kind of way. It's like, if they get going. I definitely still think the Cowboys could probably get something going. Maybe Bills, but Miami is still a big if. So you got a lot of question marks there. If the Jaguars bring it, and then you got Detroit and the Green Bay, right? And so it's a lot of ifs. I agree with you, Doc. It looks like we're probably not going to get, I think, maybe huge scores where they go over the total, but I think we can still get good fantasy numbers out of these games.
All right, let's talk about the Sunday night game. We all love the Sunday night hammer. This one's a good one. Indianapolis against Minnesota. I think Sam Darnold's in play. I think Flacco's in play. I think Addison is in play. Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson. On the other side, Josh Downs, absolutely in play. So talk to me, Swami. I like this game. I don't know if I'm going to stack it, but if there's any game that I would stack, this may be it.
Yeah, I think it's a good stack because of the prices. I think you're still getting Flacco. I think he's 7,000. You can put him with Pittman down. It's like fielder's choice, and then you can come back with Hawkinson, or you can go with the big fella. It's like you got so many different ways where you can kind of combinate this and get a piece of this game. And I think it's all good pieces because no matter which piece you take, it's going to push the other team. So if the Vikings come out and get up, that's going to have Flacco out there throwing it 50 times. And the same thing vice versa, because neither team is necessarily going to be able to run the ball against the other one in this one. So I like it.
Willie, I agree. I think the Vikings are pissed. I think they're going to throw the ball. I like Addison. I like Jefferson. I like Hawkinson. I like Darnold.
Yeah, I just think this game is very interesting. And, you can stack it either way, because, you can stack it with, Flacco, Downs, Jefferson. You can stack it Donald, Donald, Downs, Jefferson. I like that. I like the passes in this game. And I think, I'm going to have at least 2 to 3 pieces of this game in the late lineup there. Because like I said, we just got this, like with the Jordan Love, I'm just unsettled.
Right.
With some of the stuff I'm not sold on it, you know what I mean? But I know in this game, they playing in a dome, right? The pace is going to be up. There's going to be a lot of passing. And what do we like with that, Doc? The game is a long game because there's a lot of passes, a lot of incomplete passes. Yes, I'm going to have a lot of this game right here. This will be my play down here.
Totally agree with that. All right. You got $100 bill, Swami. Who's your stack?
$100 bill this week, Doc. I'm going with Dak and CeeDee Lamb, and I'm going to come back with either Pitts or Mooney. Might even get up to Drake.
It's a good stack. Yeah. Willie, what's your stack?
I'm going FanDuel. Give me Flacco, Downs, and give me Jefferson on the other side.
Well, how about go DK? How about do that?
How about going
DK? Okay. Well, I know he gave his DK. Well, I told you what I do like on DK. Give me some, give me Hurts, give me Brown, and I'm running back with Ingram.
Let me give you one more, Doc. I'm going to steal some of your thunder. I don't know where you're going, but I think Kupp and Kyron, and I think maybe, I don't know. We were kind of down on Walker, but I feel like they're going to lean on him more. But every time I say that, sharpen that to there, so I'm not going to say it. I'm going to scratch that. But I think it's something interesting about Kyron and Kupp this week.
I love the Kyron and Kupp combination. It feels like the Achane Tyreek Hill one of a week ago. I totally agree with Willie about going with that Colts-Viking game, except I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Darnold with 2 receivers and bring it back with Downs. And I think the simple play, I overthought it last week. The simple play is Hurts to A.J. Brown. Keep it simple. Figure out everything outside of that, because I can't imagine that this could be, you know how A.J. Brown goes for those 40-point weeks where he goes like 6 for 202 and 3 touchdowns? That could be this week, and I don't want to not have it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Balls to the walls call from Willie Walls. What you have for me, my friend?
I'm going to get, like I told you before, I like Elijah Moore. You know, everybody, you know, Tillman had the big game. You know, I think you can put your glasses down, put them down. I like Elijah Moore, but I'm gonna tell you who my favorite one is. That y'all
Bobo.
No, hell no, Mr. Coker, 3,600.
Do you hear Willie correctly? Do you hear Willie, Swame? All right, Swami, give me a play. Please give me a better play than that. No, I'm joking. That was
Doc,
I like Coker.
Before I give you a play, let me give you some names. Demi Moore. Dudley Moore. Michael Moore. Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore's a good one. I like that one. Yeah.
Just some of the Moores.
Demi Moore?
Just some of the Moores I would play before I play that person. Are you kidding me? No way. Doc, let me give you 2 plays here. First one, if love is in, something about Christian Watson. I don't know why. I am very enamored by my guy Christian Watson this week, especially if love is playing, which I think he's going to play. And then I think if no, Doc, I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking. It was it's something about this Nick Chubb play, but it didn't come out. I stopped it. I did after he did that thing with Moore. I didn't want to double down, so I'm gonna stay with my guy Christian Watson this week. But there's something sneaky feeling about Chubb at that price.
All right, to answer Permar's question, if Pollard and Spears are out, yes, I would do Chestnut over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to give you the crazy play of the week. I'll give you 2. This is the let's get freaky and try to raise some money for Christmas gifts. 1, Troy Franklin plays well against man. Denver's going to be behind. Could be ugly. Knicks could be chucking to his friend from Oregon. I'm in there. Second one. Who's that second one? Oh, Kayshawn. Since we're talking about cheeks and we're talking about tush push, I'm talking about Boutte. Kayshawn Boutte stinks, but once again, plays well against man coverage. He rolls out a lot of man coverage. If you're looking for the Christmas parlay, this is it.
I'm writing that down, Doc.
I like Franklin, though. Franklin one is I won't play Boutte on DK, but I might play Franklin. I might.
Right. He's got a tough matchup, but I'm not mad at Franklin. I just
look, if they're going to get crushed, if they're going to be behind like 38-10, isn't he going to be throwing it?
Yeah. In theory, I see what you're saying. I don't think it's going to be the Ravens going to find a way to not make it 38-10 until late, but yeah.
It'll be 38-17. It will be something like that.
It will be. And by the way, if Kyle Hamilton could catch, that game would have been over, and Jameis doesn't win.
It would have.
Doc, he is behind quite a few other people who should catch, who are paid to catch the ball.
Rashad Bateman, he lost his job on that play. Literally.
Quite a few people. He's talking about the sun in his eyes. The sun in my eyes too, you bad.
And by the way, Chestnut is a really great play. I think a free square if Pollard and Spears are out.
If they're both out, he's talented.
He is. He's talented. All right, guys, we are done. We wish everybody tons of luck this week. I hope somebody wins $1 million. For Swami and Willie Walls, it's Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.